Yeah. So this is my video on Modern Honey Network and Splunk for network security analytics module. So I guess I'll dive right in. So quick word about my setup. At the moment, I have my sensors and Modern Honey Network set up on DigitalOcean. Now, initially, for the first month or so, uh, uh, I deployed on a combination of Amazon Web Services and Microsoft Azure. Now there was a few hiccups here and there that caused a fair bit of downtime. So eventually, I did have to move to DigitalOcean, and also my credits running out. So in the end, I ended up merging a few log files together. It seemed to be working fine, but in total, deployment was 2 months, and this is my current setup right now. And I guess I'll dive right into Splunk. Right, so what is Splunk? So Splunk is a SIEM, so security, information and event um, management software, where you can feed it that a lot of data, so logs from say Modern Honey Network sensors or honeypots, and you can gain insights and analytics, and you can index a lot of say for example top attacker IPs, MD5 file systems. So right here, so is my main dashboard right now from the entire deployment. So I guess I'll start off with top MD5. So if you actually look in indicators, a lot of these were mostly WannaCry, WannaCryptor, or some variant of the two. So right now I can open just randomly, and you can actually see how really uh, prevalent WannaCrypt and WannaCry, the Eternal Blue exploit and double pulsar vulnerabilities still exist even today. It's still bad 3 years after, from 2017. You can see here it's still full practically detectable, but there has been a few strains and variants of this type of malware. Well, it's type of malware would be it's a worm. So if this loads right here, okay, I don't know why it's not. All right, basically this entire ranking board is all filled with WannaCry, WannaCryptor, and you can actually see from the initial the main dashboard, my main second most attacked port is a port 445. So what port 445 is would be the server message block that Microsoft uses, Windows. So if you didn't know, back 3 years ago there was a basically a leak from what's called Equation Group. So and basically the NSA their hacking tool more or less got leaked out, and it was pretty bad because there was a very severe vulnerability in that SMB protocol, port 445, which enabled the rise of the first WannaCry and WannaCryptor malware. Did make news back then, and it's still it is very much alive. But what I want to bring to attention is this right here is a port 1900. Now, if you look at the top attackers right here, even a lot of these as well, uh, these specifically have been probing for port 1900, which is the unplug and play port, the UPnP set of protocols, right? But if you look deeper, specifically, so specifically, why would a lot of attacker nodes would be looking for port 1900? So Reason for that would be because of vulnerability in the SSDP protocol, so the simple service discovery. How the attack basically works is what a threat actor can do is they can craft a malicious packet and send it to a vulnerable UPnP device where they have spoofed the source, I say header, source header, where instead of it's their own IP address. So how this would normally work in when it's legitimate is you can send a request to a UPnP device and they reply back to you. But what you can do, because there's no integrity check in that packet, is instead of making them reply back to the attacker, what the attacker can do is spoof the request, and instead of them as a source, they can have it point to a victim. So in turn, what this results in is in an amplified denial of service attack reflected off these vulnerable devices. So if we actually open up Showdown here, and we actually can see how much devices are actually exposed to the internet right now, it's just shy of 300,000 across the internet. As you can see, most of these, I guess, would be Internet of Things devices. So, say your smart fridge, CCTV cameras, DVRs, webcams that have been exposed or not properly configured. Like in general, like it's still a very viable issue, I guess, still today, where the amount of like these devices still out there and still being exploited by the likes of WannaCry, WannaCrypt, or anything leveraging the same exploit, really. But what I found interesting was there was an Irish IP that ranked second place on my I guess my leaderboard, right? So I took that as an anomaly. So I found it weird. Why would Ireland be second place? One of our own, be ranking, in here for the entire deployment. So I opened up logs, right? Deeper inspection. So if you take a look, right, you can take a sample of an event. You see the source IP address, right, and you can see the honeypot that it's trying to connect to. So this was a honeypot back in when I had the AWS and Azure still running up. But the source port now, port 8801, trying to connect to port 1900. So I did I did a bit of OSINT, or digging around, I guess, where, all right, so this is a bit of an anomaly having an Irish IP like with this sort of like uh, traffic, I guess. So simply just look it up on Showdown, and it comes up. What's really strange? What comes up is someone somewhere in Dublin has set up an AWS server, specifically an what you call it, EC2 compute instance up, that happens to be running, well, it seems to have an SSL certificate. It has port 443 open, so it does have TLS. But it's specific. What we find weird, specifically, it's Zoom. Well, I thought that's a bit strange, is it? So if you actually take the two together, so hold on, if you put these two right beside, so you have the source port 8801 and 1900. So what do we know about port 1900? We know it's UPnP. I already explained the SSDP protocol. So maybe this could be, well, another node trying to look for vulnerable devices to build up a botnet, maybe for DDoS attacks. But I did dig. If you actually look up Zoom port 8801, considering like this is right here, just out of the blue, you know, you can actually see Zoom actually has a help page for a network firewall for their meetings, right? Now, the one I found specifically was, I think it was the firewall config. Yeah, it was this one. So Zoom, right? You've probably heard of Zoom. It's this conferencing app where you can. I guess, like, judging from this help page, right, it can probe, assuming now, it can probe on UPnP devices concerning the same Wi-Fi network. So I'm making a few assumptions here, and you can see port AA01, protocol TCP, right? And then you see mentions of proxy settings. So my theory is that someone somewhere may have accidentally configured their firewall wrong, or whatever this has to do with it. But like my hypothesis, right, is that considering okay, I can't put it up right now, but every instance of this IP address, all the events lasted literally 6 minutes on the day of Thursday, 12th of November. 7:18 a.m. lasted for 6 minutes, and this much events happened. So someone somewhere screwed up, I guess. That's what I think now, judging from port 8801 and the TLS certificate. So that's my theory. But other than that, I can't really explain why specifically would be someone's VPS server up in the cloud instead of a normal ISP, because like I do find it strange that, like, even if that's true, someone configured it wrong, why would it be coming from, I guess, an Amazon server? Which is quite strange. So still to say, I haven't been able to really figure it out, really. But that's the current theory I have for that now. And alright, so next would be the juicy stuff now, actually. The I guess malware forensics, right? So it's not showing up here, it disappeared somehow. There was someone using Discord as more or less to host a piece of malware, specifically a variant of Mirai. Now, it disappeared from here, so I can't really pull it up, but I do have it in the report, so it's going to be in there. I do have a copy of it. So here right now, I'm connected to my the MHN box over shell. So I already made text file, so if we cat that, right, this is historically every single, more or less, the this top URLs for the entire deployment, and you can actually just wget, feed it into wget, and see what comes back, which is all this, right? So I find it interesting that someone would be using Discord to host that sort of like malware. So you can do digging around. So that's what it is. So it's an ELF executable, right? And now there is a few similar dropped, I'd say, stagers, really. For example, like these three IP addresses had a shell script that would call all these and would execute it, and they were all Linux executables, really. But what I thought was what I found interesting was why not use your own VPS server? So I guess I used I did a few digging around, and I did upload the F bot, the whatever you call this, to virus. So in fact, I can do that right now. So virus total, you can upload like whatever file you want and actually check the file hashes, and you can actually see, or I can prove that this is a variant of Mirai botnet. So someone somewhere in someone's Discord private conversation or a private messaging channel, someone has this exact file uploaded somewhere and been using that link to do all sorts of stuff. But then I was thinking, okay, so it's an executable. What can I do with it? So you can do maybe strings, which returns a bunch, really, but it doesn't really give that much of an insight. So what I thought was, okay, maybe if I try run this into a disassembler, which I did, run into the Gidra. Now the thing is, I couldn't really make use of this really because I have no idea how to read assembly. What's nice is there is a decompile tab, so there's that. But other than that, I was hoping for maybe I think the original functions, I guess, or variables. Those things I really should have no experience in reading disassembled code or assembly for that matter. Well, I was hoping there was something interesting that would come up here just by like skimming through. But other than that, no, that's pretty much it really. Other than the other samples that came up here, another interesting one would be the one just arrived a few hours ago. Was this bot Perl script. So Splunk managed to capture this. Someone is using an IRC bot written in Perl from back in 2012 to I guess build a botnet, I guess, and you can actually see like a bunch of the code. There's probably almost as old as a sibling. I don't know why you would be using that, but God knows what. But other than that, like deployment of 2 months, it was really a majority of WannaCry and WannaCrypt. But what I will say is Splunk is actually quite nice for as a SIEM, so a security event, security information and event management, sort of like software. Now, as for Modern Honey Network, Modern Honey Network now is like it's very nice, right, to have a lot of sensors deployed because you can have eyes and ears on emerging threats on the internet. But what I will say is the reliability sometimes. What I found personally frustrating was the setup for this because like sometimes every now and then this would stop working out of the blue for apparently no reason. So thank God it's working now. But right, like I prefer Splunk really for a lot of the blue team, I guess, analysis work. But what I was really interested in was these. But it turns out like a lot of these were just ELF binaries, and they're probably WannaCry, WannaCrypt, or Mirai. One of those, judging from the top sensors and the data that has been collected. But yeah, other than that, there wasn't really much to really cover on, at least for me, other than for the really weird anomaly that the Irish IP address. But yeah, that concludes the video. So yeah, all right, over and out.